So you're telling me that this movie is called The Boy and the Heron? Well, if you ask me personally, I think this movie should be renamed to The Boy, and I think Hayao Miyazaki, the director of this movie, did too much heroin when he wrote this movie. And so, hello, welcome back to the James Rambling Reviews for yet another episode. Today's episode is all about The Boy and the Heron, guys. Oh my god, it's actually peak cinema. Oh my god, it's the best animation movie I've seen in cinematic experiences in lifetime. Right, let's cut the bullshit and let's get straight into why I think that this movie is the worst, Ghibli movie ever, right? And so before we get into that, right, just going to give you a little bit of context here into saying that the last video I did about the Ghibli studio movie was The Grave of the Fireflies, and I said that I really do enjoy this movie, but the last 30 minutes are actually, they're not for everyone, and because of how good the movie was, I didn't spoil it. This time, though, I am going to spoil some element, a few elements of this movie, because it gives me a better chance to explain everything well. I usually don't spoil stuff, but when a movie's so bad, I actually have to do it. I really have to. So yeah, there's that. But I absolutely glaze and I absolutely love most Ghibli movies. But this one just did not work for me. And so I'll give you the plot summary. We'll do the rating out of 10. Stuff like that. And so, right. So what is this movie actually about? Do I remember watching this a few days ago? Yeah, I do remember watching it. But I can't say I remember every single scene, every single moment. It's not that memorable. So what this movie is actually about is about a boy, right? And the Heron is actually a type of bird that's in the movie, but that doesn't come into the picture later on and stuff like that. So the movie is pretty much about this boy called Mahito, I think his name was, or something like that, right? And so he's kind of going through this traumatic experience where he loses his mother and he's trying to find ways to figure that out and trying to cope with it kind of thing. But what is really odd about the movie is that it has this one storyline about the boy and the mother, and then you have the bird, and then he has to dictate how this one fantasy world controls itself and operates, and all of that stuff is so annoying because the movie is over 2 hours long, right? The movie is 2 hours and 5 minutes, and let me cook right now, because when I say this movie is horrible, it actually is. And the reason why I say this is because of the pacing. If you watch an animated movie and you think the pacing is horrible, it's just not for you, right? An animated movie should fly by, because it's different to live action movies, because animation runs a bit faster and it does all of this other stuff to where you're engaged and there's a lot going on and you're okay, a lot of the stuff is making sense by the end, surely, right? Well, I'll say that, but also the voice acting. The voice acting is alright for the first bit, and then the voice acting is nothing to write home about and say, you know what, these actors are so Oscar worthy, they're oh my god, they're the top actors in the universe. No, it's just generic sounding anime characters. There's nothing interesting about that. And the animation, while there are shots where it looks cool and interesting, it just looks so bland, and it sticks to this one art style, and it's just yeah, I've seen that in another Ghibli movie. It's called Spirited Away, and it's actually better and well more executed than that. And so for me personally, if the movie was actually just the boy and the mother kind of storyline, it's better, because I'm gonna be honest, right, the bird's voice acting is so horrible and unbearable slop. I know I'm exaggerating and I'm saying, oh my god, this is so trash, like that, but the way the bird sounds, it just sounds so annoying. And I get that the boy actually hates this bird, and the bird's oh, your mother died, by the way, Makito, your mother died, you suck, right? It's bullying him. But then there's what I did say, that the movie's pacing is horrible, but then they repeat the same storyline for 2 damn hours of this movie, and I'm just sitting there what am I watching? Am I watching a fever dream with AI generated music? It's what am I watching right now? I don't know what I'm watching anymore. And it's not there's times I'm trying to pay attention to the movie and it's okay, we're having all these ideas play out, and there's a lot of ideas that on paper work, but on paper that works, but yeah, no, horrible, horrible. Like, I think to be generous enough, like calling this movie like mid is generous, because just to recap here, the voice acting is horrible, and I mean it's just average, whatever. It's okay, right? It's okay. Is it not? Is it bad to say this movie is bad, right? You know what I mean? So there's that, and then animation, it's okay. And then the pacing, yeah, it's horrible, and the ideas are just horrible. And then also, I forgot to mention this in my previous video, but this, I don't know if I remember even talking about it, but this movie is trying to recap Hayao Miyazaki's life as a young boy, but it doesn't make any sense because Hayao Miyazaki is like so many years older, and then you've got an older guy that comes into the movie later on when the boy actually opens the door to this other world and he meets this girl and all of this stuff, right? You see this old man and he's literally like Hayao Miyazaki, and if you don't know who Hayao Miyazaki is, I don't think I talked about this previously, but Hayao Miyazaki is the type of guy where he actually walked out on his son's film and he was just like, you know what, your movie's horrible, right? I get it, you know, not everybody's going to be good at making movies, but this is your son you're talking about, and I heard about this stuff, and it's like, is this guy actually, is Hayao Miyazaki even qualified to make cinema if he's crapping on his son that made a movie? Like, he's not even giving his son a fair chance. And I know that's completely off topic with this movie, but it still is vacant that Hayao Miyazaki is not even a qualified filmmaker anymore. You can tell that he just strung all of these ideas together and he's done all of this crap, and he's just freaking throwed out slop for the world to see. And honestly, do not watch this movie, and if I catch you in the comments saying that you watched this movie after this video, I will be absolutely blown away, and my mind will just pop and I will die. Oh my god, this was fun to record. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is more of a different video. I feel like the Joker or some kind of like villain where I'm just playing mind games on my audience. Like, yes, guess what? I'm actually the guy who hates this movie and everyone else loves it. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, Hayao Miyazaki, the boy and the man who directed this is on heroin. So yeah, bye. Don't even spend your money on this movie, baby. Bye.